is worthwhile to pay attention to. Who are these young travelers? Are these children? Are these working people? Or who are the young travelers? Who would you categorize as young travelers?
It's subjective because a young mind can be an old body also. So it's not only the age, it's also the awareness that I want to discover. Discover a land like Tamil Nadu is been a venture for me. I'll give you that example. Um, I was writing a book, and one of my case studies was on Muthuta, a wild seaweed diver in the Gulf of Mannar. I just attended the coastal experience about a session ago. Muthuta was a young mind wanting to travel into the depths of waters, travel to earn a startup. And I found to my great astonishment of what the Central Institute of Science and Marine Institute had done to assist the wild seaweed divers of the Gulf of Mannar into ocean agriculturalists. From there, I went to Kudu Island and discovered loads and loads of young travelers who were school kids coming to the UNESCO Biodiversity Park. So when you define the young traveler, it can come in different shades. And the people who have the repository of the heritage skill also become a traveler as they discover the repositories they have and how many stories they can tell another.
Thank you. Both of you have very nicely articulated what a young traveler would mean. And for the purposes of deliverability, I guess, especially at this summit, I would, you've seen the Western world. There, little kids in primary school are taken to archaeological sites, and their parents equally participate in the archaeological excavations. It's called community archaeology. And here also, I think school kids are taken to museums, to planetariums, and the rest of it. So it's basically an inquisitive mind wanting to explore, engage, and discover archaeology, culture, art, heritage, and in our case, built architecture in more than one ways. So age really, I would say, nurtures and it helps in consolidating your experiences which have started much earlier in life when you are not even able to take a cognition of what is happening to you. So if a little kid is going, and you see them a lot in this part of the world, when a little kid is accompanying his mother, father, grandmother or so to a temple at a very young age, when the senses are not so developed to be able to articulate or formulate where all this is going, the experiences have already started to get embedded. And these experiences then shine and they are nurtured, the teachers cultivate them, then you go to performances and all that. And it becomes nicer and nicer and bigger and better as you grow older and wiser, I guess.
Thank you. Um, so one speaker spoke about maritime heritage with a specific example of diving for seaweeds. Yeah. And the next,
and the coral islands
the corals,
of
yes.
Tamil Nadu.
The second speaker spoke of archaeological digs, both underground. Can we have a show of hands if any of you have done either of these as a cultural experience? Okay, one. What about this whole lot here? You qualify as young. So, has any of you tried either of these things? No? What are the kind of cultural experiences have you tried? Anyone, just shout it out loud so that our speakers can hear you. Anything?
There's one thing which I would like to say, Kanika.
Yeah.
One of the things which I have discovered when I take children for a walk of the school, how to create the age group curiosity. So if I, for instance, I pioneered heritage walks way back in 1988 when no one had heard. And because I was a dancer, I used to do something called performing heritage. And in the Humayun's tomb, for instance, there's a tomb called he was a governor, Isa Khan's tomb, who was a governor general with an Afghan king called Sher Shah Suri, a man who built the Grand Trunk Road, a man who instituted postal systems in India. So what I did, I brought in, for the child's curiosity, the idea of the pigeon post office in Bangalore. I also brought in the story of the camel post office in Jaisalmer. So how do you create this wider idea of India to ignite and fire the child that if he studies history, if he studies sociology, everything is not only about computer science, you can reinvent. Today, what I started in 1988, today is called startups. And it wasn't called startup then.
I'm coming back to our question. You've heard the two speakers speak about cultural experiences. Any of you, what is your idea of a cultural experience? Where would you like to go? You've heard of heritage walks, you've heard of going into the sea, digging into the earth. Any idea? You guys are sitting here in the World Tourism Conclave, here in a very, very rich city in terms of heritage. You are attending a session, I think forcefully, on cultural heritage. Any ideas? English should be okay. Or in Tamil also, if you can, for the benefit of our speakers. No? Any volunteers? Yeah, please. Okay. Very quickly, just please shout it out, sir. We're not having a discussion. Just shout it out for us.
15 days back, if you had come over here to Tamil Nadu, any part of Tamil Nadu, it has been, anywhere you go, it is all celebrations with Pongal,
Yes,
Jallikattu,
Pongal. That's a very good example.
Jallikattu,
Jallikattu. Thank
Jallikattu.
you. There was another
Temples.
speaker there. May I
Temples.
quickly have your view? Thanks.
Actually, he took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say food because the whole month of January, you'll see a plethora of cultural experiences in just the form of food across the state. So that's, I think, if you go to any part of Tamil Nadu, any district, you'll experience the food culture of that place during the month of January.
Okay, so we have had food cultures also. How would you go about designing a cultural experience? It's easy to say cultural experience for the youth. What should be kept in mind when we are, of course, the age bracket, yes, the local context in Tamil Nadu, but how would you, with your experience, with your speciality, in your specific area of work, you work with monuments, what is your approach? What are the things to keep in mind if we were to design, say, a cultural experience for this crowd?
Can I just take?
Okay. So, as an architect, architect, as you know, is considered, one who creates all these nice built environments, Vishwakarma's incarnation. And what I would like to say is, in the Indian context, and specifically Tamil Nadu's context, your living heritage is very important. The Western world went beyond the tangible, went after the tangible, so to say, and they almost completely forgot that the tangible doesn't exist without what they call intangible. I don't call it intangible. For me, in my head, it is not tangible, something which you can touch, all that, the rest of it. For me, it is living. And the living brings both the created object, which is a monument or dance form, performance, etc., and also the mind behind that creation, which is imagination in our Shastras and all. So it is together. What you see today, the person sitting next to me, is both a performer and a creator of that performance. So it's both the tangible and the intangible, so to say, but living in her. So for me, the designing of cultural experience in an Indian context, specifically in a place where we are sitting, would be meaningless, let's say soulless, without considering the living aspect. If you go to the temples and you see the various sculptures and the garbhagriha and the way you go around, it's not the monument or the building, that's a colonial construct. When our forefathers went to the temples, they went for a specific purpose, which was ritualistic, spiritualistic, food, dance, perform, everything, and the whole cosmos or the whole idea of life emerged from Garbhagriha, and that is where you are going. So that entire experience from your house to the temple's Garbhagriha, everything that is happening at every step, that is what I would want to convert into a what you call cultural experience in a modern sense of word to say. But I would want to bring in and focus on the living aspect, because everything that you do, you meet, you eat, you smell, you see, you touch, everything gets embedded consciously, subconsciously, whatever, in your mind, which when you narrate to some other person becomes your experience, gets translated to that person in the form of a performance, a narrative, a story, a design, a photography, a video, film, whatever you've been seeing in all the stalls going around this summit.
Thank you, Mr. Piplani. To add to what, this is my book, which has been published by the Government of India, and the other book, which is called Performing Heritage, which was specifically on Delhi, but this is all India. It has a heritage walk on the umbrellas in Chennai. The Chennai umbrellas have a migration from Surat, and the temple umbrellas, and you have processions then going to Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, to Tirupati. Mr. Sri Ram, who curated this walk, talked to me about it. So I have a term. When you look at a particular archaeological site, like the Shore Temple, you have a heritage scape, like a landscape. In that scape, you have to do cultural skill, heritage skill mapping. When you do that, then you take down 3 or 4. The nature, that is the sea and the connectivity of skill communities related to the sea. The stone workers in Mahabalipuram. And the songs, the rituals that go with the heritage landscape, the pilgrimages. Keeping that as the ingredient, you design your immersive experience. So you have to make a list, and then you have to build the story, then you have to bring the community to share the experiences. That is how this book talks about the art of heritage walks, which is something all of you can pick up, and I hope there are many, many of you here who come into the world of exhibiting Tamil Nadu.
Having heard both of you speak about living heritage, the ways in which it can be woven together, different aspects of heritage can be woven together to create a cultural experience. I'm just wondering, is it too romantic? Or you can agree or disagree, but let me just elaborate by what I mean by romantic. Um, by that, I don't mean romantic love. By that, a romantic idea of heritage. And I'm just picking your brain here, being the devil's advocate here. Is it all nice, nice things? Is it all very charming, beautiful things? Is it only good food, good clothes, or beautiful architecture? And is everything nice and wonderful?